It's not Joe Bean, by the way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to King Arena here on campus at Wheaton College. I'm Nate Stein alongside Casey Balikian, and you are watching the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. Welcome to the 21st Annual Lee Fun Classic Men's Basketball Tournament. The first game of the tournament was just before this. You had Heidelberg versus Bethel, and Heidelberg knocked off Bethel in a barn burner.
Yeah, 87-85, Nate. It was a great game. I was here towards the end of it. Bethel came out strong in the first half. I was very impressed with their work ethic. Their offense was working for them. And Heidelberg, honestly, was knocked on their butt a little bit. Came back from halftime, made some good adjustments there, and came back with a win. Tight game. Came down to the last 30 seconds.
And now to the game on hand tonight. We will bring you the Wheaton Thunder facing off against Luther. They are the Norse.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of a battle of teams that struggled last year. Both teams are young. Both teams are undersized a little bit. You got Luther picked to finish last in the IIAC in the Iowa Conference with Loris and Simpson. Dubuque was the team that won that conference last year. And you have Wheaton in the best conference in the country, ranked by D3 Hoops.
Yeah, that news just came out. We just saw that pregame, so that's very exciting for the CCIW.
Definitely, and you know, Wheaton's got a tough task in front of them, so Wheaton's looking to take care of business here tonight, and prove that while they are, you know, rebuilding, they're able to take care of the business that they should be able to take care of.
Yeah, we got our first look at this very young Wheaton team on Tuesday, facing off against the reigning national runner-up in Benedictine, and we saw a Wheaton team that honestly didn't look overmatched like a lot of people predicted them to.
Yeah, I mean, it was shocking to me, Nate. We talked about this a little bit at halftime about how the game did look like it was moving quickly for the Thunder, but they were right there, and that's got to be something that's encouraging for Coach Schauer as he goes forward with this team, understanding that this is a team that will compete. This is a team that on their home court can play with anybody, and that's a dangerous thing for Luther here tonight, realizing that this team played with the number 6 team in the country and looked good doing it.
Yeah, and we always talk about Luke Peters. He, in Coach Schauer's words, has the key to the van. But someone who really stepped up against Benedictine, who I think we should keep an eye out for tonight, Aston Francis, the sophomore transfer from Tyler Junior College. He showed out against the number 6 team in the country, and I think he has proven himself to be the option when teams key on Luke Peters, as pretty much everybody is.
Absolutely, and Luke Peters is hoping that people start to key on Aston Francis so he can get some more looks, and this team can get working on multiple levels.
Okay, so for now, we are going to send it onto the court for our opening ceremonies, national anthem, and starters. We'll be right back. Stick with us here on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network.
And now the starting lineups. First for the visitors from Luther, at one guard, a 6'1 senior out of Manchester, number 2, Luke Palmer. The other guard, a 6'1 sophomore out of New Hampton, number 3, Jared Nicolason. At one forward, a 5'11 senior out of Lanham, number 5, Kevin Stafford. The other forward, a 6'1 freshman out of St. Louis Park, number 20, Ray Whitlock. And at center, a 6'4 senior out of Dearborn Heights, number 44, Markel Lucas. Luther College is coached by Mark Franzen, who's assisted by Cam Shuknet and Eric Carius. And now, Wheaton College fans, on your feet, the starting lineup for your Wheaton College Thunder. At one guard, a 6'1" sophomore out of Tyler, Texas, number 1, Aston Francis. The other guard, a 6'3" sophomore out of Medina, number 2, Luke Peters. At 1'4", a 6'5" sophomore out of Maitland, number 13, Kobe Eichelberger. The other forward, a 6'3" junior out of New Trier High School, number 22, Ricky Samuelson. And at center, a 6'6" sophomore out of Fairfax Station. That's the president, number 32, Reagan Jones. Wheaton College is coached by Mike Schauer, who's assisted by John Tanner and Kyle Keck.
And we are back here at King Arena once again. I am Nate Stein alongside Casey Balicki, and you are watching the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. Just a few moments away from tip-off. Casey, what do you think the keys to the game are going to be tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit there in the pregame with Aston Francis. I mean, he's going to have to be the guy who kind of drives the offense. I think that Luke Peters is going to have to start to be able to play off of him. Let Aston kind of, front that offensive attack, and then Luke kind of find his spots in between. That said, I also think that I was talking to Coach Panner before the game, and he said this is a team that works hard on defense in this Luther team, and so they're going to have to really work for every point they get tonight.
Eichelberger wins the opening tip to Peters. Francis on the wing, swung around to Samuelson. Jones working down low, kicked out to Eichelberger. He pulls up for 3, knocks it down right away. The Thunder jump out to a 3-0 lead.
You love to see that, a quick start there by a good player. Reagan Jones has really come into his own in the first 41 minutes of play this year.
Great block by Eichelberger, pairing up at defensive end with the offense after that first possession. Eichelberger, coast to coast, creates some contact, can't finish. Jones on the other end to finish it up.
Boy's having himself a game already.
Driving into the lane now is Nicolaisen. Kicked out, 3, tried to be banked home by Whitlock, no good. Peters going the other way. Slows up, kicks it to Jones. Jones, Eichelberger looking inside for Peters. Peters, a guard that likes to work down low. Out to Eichelberger for 3. 2 for 2 on the night. Eichelberger off to a hot start.
I love the way they ran that offensive progression. Get it down to Luke Peters, who's a great passer down low. Find the open man. They doubled off of Eichelberger. 1, 2, 3 for Eichelberger. He's having a good night.
Stafford moving to his right. Trying to work into the lane. Peters gets his hand in there. A little bit of contact. There's going to be a foul. I think that one's going to be called on Jones.
Yeah, something to watch in this game is going to be the defensive struggle. Luther's first game was against UW-Platteville. They lost that game 69-39. So offense, a little bit of a struggle, but only giving up 69 points in the game. That's not too bad. Most teams would kill for that kind of points allowed. So Wheaton's going to have to score, and they've done that well today so far.
Peters gets his hand in the passing lane, starting the fast break. Gets in there, that ball tipped away. Great defensive effort from Kevin Stafford, not giving up on that one, able to pick Peters' pocket.
Yeah, it's a great leadership play there by Stafford, one of the only returning scorers from this team from last season. Good hustle play there to stop Luke Peters in transition.
Samuelson in the corner for 3. That one no good. Rebound Stafford. Stafford trying to take it himself, works into the lane, kicked out to Lucas. Lucas mid-range jumper, no good. Samuelson pulls down the rebound. Great touch pass from Francis, kicked out to Eichelberger now.
The game's moving a little quickly right now. I'd like to see the Thunder slow it down.
Eichelberger looking for Samuelson down low. That one just off Ricky's fingertips.
Yeah.
And I think I agree with you on that one,
yeah.
Casey. That possession seemed a little hurried. I get wanting to get out and run early to set the tone, but you got to just kind of take it as it comes.
Sure, and maturity, that's part of maturing, is just being able to step back, have a leader that says, guys, let's slow down. We've hit 2 threes already in this game. We're feeling good. Let's slow down and keep it going.
Peters gets another steal, his second of the game, tripped up in transition. And it'll be Thunder ball right in front of us.
Peters is having a field day in those passing lanes, Nate.
Cookies. That's why Mama keeps them on the top shelf. Luke will steal them if they're anywhere else.
Yeah, Luke, the Peters mom probably had some trouble with that when she was a kid. Luke's older brother, Ty, also a very good defender here for Wheaton College.
Yeah, back in 2013,
I bet she had a padlock on that cookie jar.
You have to. Peters with it up top now. Swings it to Jones. Francis, shot fake, now working into the lane. Step back. That one no good. Jones rips the rebound. Gets it to Samuelson. Samuelson creates contact, and he will go to the line to shoot 2.
Great job there by Reagan Jones, mixing it up down low. A lot of the times, you'll see a guy like that get a rebound and just think he has to go right back up and try to get fouled. Great presence of mind to find the cutting Samuelson. Great presence of mind by number 22, Samuelson, cutting to the basket there. A lot of people will watch. That was good team basketball.
So that foul was on Christian Wright, his first of the game. And now we'll see Trey Boyank enter, a freshman from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Shout out to my hometown.
Yeah, little freshman from Nate's home place getting some attitude, or getting some playing time. I don't know, attitude.
Hey, man, those Vista kids do have attitude.
Yeah.
Samuelson goes 2 for 2 from the charity stripe, and the Thunder jump out to a 10-0 lead in the first 3+ minutes of action. Nicolaisen with it. Crossover, step back. He knocks it down to get the Norse on the board.
And those are important first points for any team. Scoring the first points against a team that's going 10 points this quickly on you is so crucial. Maybe now the Norse will be able to start to breathe a little bit.
Swung out to Jones. Jones for 3, no good. Rebound, Nicolaisen. Down in the corner, jump shot no good from Markel Lucas. Going the other way now is Francis. Swings it to Peters. Peters crosses over to his right, takes it to the rim, can't finish. Good help defense from Lucas to at least get a body there and just kind of get in Peters' head a little bit.
Yeah, $1 million move, but the finish didn't finish it off. And you know, it's not worth anything, that great crossover, if you can't put it in the bucket. That's something he's going to have to fix.
Nicolaisen loses control trying to spin baseline. And now we'll see Trevor Gunter enter the game as Reagan Jones gets his first breather.
I mean, the Thunder, the one positive thing about the Thunder not having really any established big man right now, obviously Spencer Peterson is going to come in from the football team and he looks to contribute right away. But the good thing about not having an established big man is you can sub in and out and keep your big men with fresh legs. And that's something that's played, I think, a big part of their success on the boards.
And what a finish from Ashton Francis. Yeah. The soft touch up by the rim, beautiful floater. Boyank working on Peters. Peters switches off the ball. Samuelson trying to get his hand in the passing lane. Boyank swings around to Whitlock. Driving in, but unable to finish is Whitlock. Gunter rips that board. Peters going the other way, trying to take it right to the teeth of the defense and can't finish. Boyank going the other way. Francis gets his fingertips on that one, but it gets out to right. Boyank now trying to drive baseline, loses his footing, and we'll have a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Norse after the Thunder won the opening tip. And now we'll see Zach Quam enter the game, the junior from Canton, Georgia, seeing his first minutes of the night as Luke Peters gets a break.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating if you're the Norse. You've had 6 pretty good looks so far and only converted on 1 of them.
And Quam gets burned right away as Stafford comes flying across the key out of the bounds play. A nice quick hitter from the Norse to get them on the board. We'll see a timeout. 14:46 left to play in the first half. Thunder lead 12-4 after getting out to a 10-0 run.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of this timeout that's going to help the Norse is Coach Franzen just being able to tell his young guys, hey, slow down. Like, let the game come to you. This Wheaton team is doing a good job right now setting the pace. Like we said, they got to be careful not to over-accelerate. But this Norse team has got to be able to keep up. This Wheaton team is not going to be the best team they're going to see all year. They're going to have to be able to play with teams that are going to set greater paces. They're going to have bigger guys down low, and they're going to have to be able to take a step back and breathe and be able to play their game.
Yes, both teams coming out of the huddle. It'll be Eichelberger, Quam, Gunter, Samuelson, and Francis on the floor for the Thunder. Boink, Wright, Dickey, Stafford, as well as Lee on the floor for the Norse.
Pretty small lineups on both sides here. Not much choice, though, for either coach.
Beautiful look inside from Francis, finding Quam. And wisely, Quam bringing it out. Eichelberger goes into the lane, can't finish. Quam battling for a rebound down low, but that one ends up in the hands of Wright. Boink swings it to Lee. Lee trying to drive baseline, loses it, and it'll be Thunder ball.
Something that's become apparent for the Thunder that, I mean, obviously they can't really work on it at this point in the season, but you see a lot of their guys knowing that they have to go to the basket, but getting met up there with physical bodies and just not strong enough to power through. That's going to be something that's going to come into play, I think, in the CCIW, is just a little bit of a lack of strength for the Thunder.
Yeah, it's something that Spencer Peterson, one of the football players, as well as Christian Simpson, are going to add big time as Aston Francis knocks down a turnaround jumper from the elbow. But Peterson, a big kid, 6'5", 240. Yeah. Christian Simpson, also another big body, 6'1", 200 pounds. So those are guys that are going to bring a lot of physicality for this Thunder team on the floor. And Eichelberg getting riled up, battling for that loose ball with Wright.
I love how hard that kid plays. That kid has got all the tools to be a great leader on this team coming down the road. I mean, he is fierce. He works hard. He's got a great vertical. He's got skill. He's vocal in practice. I mean, that's the kind of guy you can build a team around if you're Coach Schauer.
So now we see Peters returning to action, and we'll get a look at Jay Spencer as well as Jake Malagan entering the game for the first time, a couple of freshmen.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest with the viewers, Nate. We're all kind of hoping Jay Spencer gets on his own on a fast break here.
I said it before the game. We looked at the size of Luther, not nearly as big as the Benedictine team these Thunder saw on Tuesday. And, yeah, if Jay Spencer gets out and is able to run a little bit, it's going to be a show. Spencer kicks it out to Peters. Peters working in the lane. And Stafford, awaiting him, draws the charge.
Great defense there by the Norse. I love that switch by Coach Franken into a 2-3 zone. I think that's a crucial thing to do in any game is to see, can this team attack a zone? And that's what Coach Franken loves to do. I was talking to Coach Panner again, and he said they love to switch it up. They're going to go zone, man, man, zone, try to be as unpredictable as they can on defense.
Three-pointer that was from the hand of Sturgis, no good. Although Sturgis now finds himself all alone down low and can't finish. Couple of bodies battling down low. That ball goes out, last touch by Spencer. So the Norse will retain the ball with the fresh 30 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Sturgis, the sophomore, I think just heard the footsteps. He got a little, again, the game was just moving a little too quick. That's a layup that the young man can make, and he's going to be kicking himself for missing that one.
And here you see Mlagan getting a charge of his own. Waiting on the baseline. That's beautiful. Help defense gets there outside the restricted area, obviously set before the shooting motion begins. That's awesome from the freshman.
And Nate, you know I love me a good charge.
Yes, you do.
I think the circle, the restricted area is one of the worst things that's ever happened in basketball. I love a good charge, and this game has had two of them so far. I'm in heaven.
So the North stay in the zone. Jones on the left wing. Francis tries to drive middle, gets picked up. Now Francis for three. That one no good. Rebound, Mlagan puts it back up and finishes, but foul on the floor. Good effort from Mlagan, not the biggest guy on the floor, just 6'2", 175. Go up and battling over a couple of bodies for that one.
Yeah, great effort there by the freshman to get on those boards and keep possession with the team in white.
Inbounded, Peters up top.
This is what I want to see more of from Peters. Slow down, let's get set. They're in a man now, so let's switch it up. Let's go back to what we do best.
A beautiful look down low. Peters finds Mlagan, but he can't finish. Ends up in the hands of Nicolaisen. Kicked into the corner for Stafford. Stafford looking for somewhere to go. Peters right on him. Palmer. Dickey with it. Looking inside, and Nicolaisen all alone down low. Lost his man somehow and somewhere.
Several defensive breakdowns there. Really good back cuts there by the Norse. Good offensive movement. Great layup there. Good offense in general. Back to the zone go the Norse.
Yeah, switching up possession by possession at this point. Kicked out to Francis. Francis for three. Knocks it down. Ashton Francis able to finish from range and extend the Thunder lead back to 11.
The kid can shoot the basketball, Nate.
Yeah, and Francis with 7 points on the night in this first half as Jay Spencer goes up and basically takes that one off the outside of the rim. Oh, and Francis almost heat check. Now Mloggin for three. No good. Dragan Jones banging down low to pick that one up. Finishes off the glass. Thunder up by 13. Stafford with it right wing, tries to get by Peters. Goes up, off-balance shot, no good. Jones rebound. Peters going the other way, and another great defensive effort from Stafford in transition, sneaking up behind Peters and poking that ball out.
Yeah, and this is what Coach Panner said was going to happen. This is a Luther team that's going to work very, very hard in defense. A team that's going to, they're not going to get outworked. They're not going to beat themselves, but can they score? I mean, again, they scored 39 points in their season opener, and that's tough to win with.
Samuelson takes it strong to the hoop and finishes past Nicolaisen. And Casey, to answer your question, can they score? As of right now, the Thunder defense has just been too good. Yeah. Only allowing 6 points, and we're just about halfway through this first half.
Yeah, I mean, and there have been breakdowns to be sure, and I don't want to give the impression that the Thunder are there yet, because they're not.
No, they aren't.
But they are walking that line well, Nate. You're very right. They are not missing as many assignments even tonight as they did on Tuesday night against Benedictine, and that is improvement in just a couple days of practice. So kudos to Coach Schauer and the team in white for fixing some of the issues that were revealed by a very good team on Tuesday night.
Ill-advised entry pass from Francis ends up in the hands of the Norse. And there you see Peters once again getting his hand in the passing lane. He can't contain that one. Goes out of bounds off the side. But 10 seconds are off the shot clock, and the Norse are going to have to reset.
Yeah, Peters is causing a lot of trouble in the passing lanes up top, and it's really hard to run your offense when you can't swing the ball.
Boink with it. Swings it to right. Back to Boink. Peters with the hard closeout. Boink swings it hard inside to Lucas, and now Lucas battling down low. Gets his way around Jones and finishes off the glass.
Yeah, Peters getting beat on ball there. Just a little too overambitious on the closeout. Needs to close out a little shorter.
Peters now with it. Swings it to Samuelson. Francis, deep three. It's good! And Francis into double digits in each of his two first collegiate games for the Wheaton Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, the kid is hot, and he knows that he's the scorer now, and he's shooting with a lot of confidence. One of those guys that never met a shot he didn't like, but makes a lot of them.
Lucas, baseline jumper, no good. Eichelberger pulls down the rebound. Peters into the corner. Samuelson for three. Knocks it down. That man can shoot, but we already knew that.
This is a Thunder team that can pull the trigger from the three-point line. Luther has got to get out there on defense. The Thunder shooting 55.6% already tonight from the three-point line. 15 of their 27 points coming from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and let's not get over ambitious. In no way is 55% sustainable. They will not shoot 55% in this game. But the fact that they've done that in the first 11 minutes, it's the reason they're up by 19 right now.
Definitely, and I mean, you talk about demoralizing an opponent. You know, they come into a gym and you shoot like that, and they're just thinking to themselves, I mean, what do we do? If they're going to shoot like that, it's over. And then eventually you get a deficit so much where, morale goes down. It's going to be a real test for the Luther Norse. Can they stay in this game and wait until this unsustainable high of three-point shooting starts to come down? And can they figure out a way to score? Because right now, Wheaton is only 12 points away from Luther's season high. So, I mean, they've got to figure out a way to get the ball in the basket. And it's going to be a team effort. Spearheaded, I think, by Jared Nicolaisen and Kevin Stafford. They're two leading scorers. They're two best players. Those two have really got to step up. The senior and the sophomore on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, we've seen Stafford incredibly active already so far this game on both sides of the floor. So if he can just step up and start kind of doing what he knows he has to do, I think we'll see this Luther team start to mount a bit of a comeback.
I agree.
Whitlock working on the far side, swings it to Boink. Boink looking back door for Nicolaisen. Out to Whitlock. Peters gets his hand in there. And that ball's on the ground. Francis picks it up. And that'll be Lucas reaching in on Francis. And a foul on Lucas, his first of the night.
Yeah, Lucas doesn't know about that call. He's a little frustrated. I didn't quite see it. But one thing is for sure, Francis has got to be aware of his surroundings on fast breaks because he's the key. He's the key. People are going to be focusing on him. So he's got to know that people are going to be coming from behind him, from beside him, from in front of him, from all over the place. And he's got to become an excellent passer for this team to have any success in the best conference in the country.
You love saying that.
I do. It makes me happy.
Makes a lot of people happy, I'm sure. Francis up top. Peters now. Back to Francis, looking for somewhere to go. Peters trying to work into the lane. Gets up with some contact. He'll go to the line to shoot two. That'll be Spencer Sturgis called for the foul. We take a look at the replay. Peters just muscling through Sturgis. The offensive player's going to get that call every day of the week.
Yeah. And we've talked about how important it is for the Wheaton Thunder to get themselves to the free throw line. Did not shoot well from the charity stripe in their opening game against Benedictine, and they will look to drastically improve that number here tonight.
Yeah, Peters knocks down his first. Almost got that thing to stop on the back iron. And Peters goes 1 of 2. That's just the Thunder's first miss tonight. Going the other way as Lee crossover to find some space, right for 3, off the front iron, and Eichelberg rises up and just takes that ball from Markel Lucas.
That kid is becoming a special player, Nate.
Peters up top with it, swings it to Gunter. Gunter handoff to Francis. Francis, a deep 3. Oh, just rims out. Lee going the other way. Slows up. And Lee will take this one all the way in, draws a foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, you'll
Samuelson getting called for the contact.
You see here Francis sliding over. I'd love to see him take that charge. That's like the spot to take a charge. He was in perfect position and just moved out of the way. That's going to be something I guarantee you is on a tape session this week with when Coach Schauer says it was good but not great, and here's why. Francis has got to take that charge in a game against an Augustana or a North Central. I mean, that's just a non-negotiable.
Lee knocks down his first. Here comes the second. And he goes 2 for 2. Seven and a half remaining in the first half of play. Thunder leading 28-10 over the Luther Norse so far. Logging with it. Working into the lane. Kicks it to Samuelson. Samuelson, a little shake and a pull-up 3, no good.
Impressive move there by Samuelson. Had his defender on skates.
Now Lee trying to do the same thing on the other end of the floor. Right with it down low. Kicked out. Whitlock, no good. Rebound pulled down by Samuelson.
That's good offense there, but once again, just not able to convert. Had a wide open shot for Ray Whitlock.
Gunter unable to finish the reverse layup down low. Good look from Francis to find him there. Gunter just got a little ahead of himself.
Yeah.
Lee working on the perimeter. Pulls up in front of Gunter. That one short. Rebound right. Swung. This time it's Sturgis. 3 no good. And now rebound by Whitlock. Thunder can't allow this many second chance points, or second chance opportunities rather, as Whitlock works down low. Can't finish. Gunter ends up with it.
Yeah, especially a team whose tallest player on the floor right now is 6 foot. I mean, he's 6'8", but he plays, I mean, there's only one of them. And there's going to be teams that they play with 6'8", 6'7", 6'7". You got to be able to rebound the basketball, and that's something we saw against Benedictine as well.
Logging gets tangled up a little bit, but ends up with it somehow. No look pass, corner for Samuelson. Oh. That one rims out.
These are two teams who are very persistent from the three-point line, Nate. We saw the Norse shoot 24 threes in their first game. As the ref spills Nate's coffee all over everything.
Don't worry, it's just water. It didn't get on my computer, so that's good. Just on the rosters. Lee with it right in front of us. Inside is Whitlock. He goes up, can't finish, loses off the front of the rim. Wright tips it out. Lee feigns a three. And it'll be Thunder ball.
And as Nate kind of tries to get himself cleaned up over here with the help of a couple of fans' towels, Luke Peters is going to bring the ball up here with 5 minutes and 4 seconds. They're going to try to get a little bit bigger of a lead going into this halftime break. But this Luther team, I mean, they're starting to come alive, as we said. Got a couple offensive boards, but just have been unable to convert. Getting a lot of open looks, though. Silly pass there by Eichelberger. Never, ever do you throw a post feed in the air from the top of the key. That's offense 101.
Sturgis trying to work inside, gets it out to Nicolaisen. Nicolaisen pulls up on the baseline, no good. Spencer tips it to Jones. Jones ends up with it again. Quam with it. Jones looking inside. Quam swings it to Peters. Peters drives baseline out to Quam, up top Eichelberger. Now Spencer, 10 on the shot clock. 5 seconds, Eichelberger drives into the lane, gets pulled down, throws up a prayer, trying to get himself in the act of shooting. And it doesn't matter because the Thunder are now in the bonus, so Eichelberger will go to the line for a 1-and-1, I believe. I don't think they're going to give him active shooting there.
Yeah, not exactly the most pretty offensive possession that the Thunder have had thus far in the season. But one thing I noticed there is it's been fun to watch Luke Peters develop as a point guard. It is not his natural position to be the one, the stereotypical bring the ball up the floor, give it away and go screen away and run the offense is not Luke Peters' position. And he has been forced into that position this year, and he's turning honestly a little bit into a, excuse my analogy here, but a little bit of a Steve Nash kind of player. He dribbles under the hoop all the time, feeds it to the middle, feeds outside, given Steve Nash didn't post up quite as much. But I mean, we're seeing Luke Peters get into the lane and then kick out a lot, and I think that's going to be something with this team that can shoot. That's going to be really important for their success, that he's able to penetrate and get inside and then dish to the outside to perimeter shooters.
Casey, I don't think we're going to put any analogy off limits this year, considering in game one of the season I compared the Thunder to the Warriors lineup of death.
That's true.
So I think that kind of set the tone, and we can do whatever we want. Eichelberger can't convert on the first end of his 1-and-1. Lee taking it the other way. Spencer jumps out and help defense. Swung up to Palmer.
Great defense down low there by Reagan Jones, keeping the ball out of Hank Dickey's hands.
Palmer for three. That one no good. Rebound Quam. Peters pushing ahead, now slows up. Jones gets inside to Spencer. Spencer kicks out to Quam. Peters now working down low, spins baseline. 7 on the shot clock. Quam with it, gonna have to pull up, step back and gets blocked. Lee ends up with it. A little miscommunication there as Palmer picks up the ball. Sturgis, now Palmer, corner three. That one is good. 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
As we said, this North team is one to shoot from the three-point line. They are now 1 of 9, sorry, from the three-point line, shooting just 11% from out there. But they are going to shoot, and that's something that the Thunder have to know.
And Peters gets called for another offensive foul. Once again, that's Stafford taking the charge. and the Thunder faithful not in agreement with the referee there.
Yeah, Peters has got to be careful. Like we said, foul trouble has been something that has plagued him in past years, and he's got to watch the attitude and the foul trouble because he's got to stay in games this year. But we'll see Aston Francis come back in, which is a relief that they have another solid point guard that can score points to come in for Luke.
Stafford working the other way for the Norse.
Ooh.
And Stafford tries to take it to the rim on Quam. Spencer picks up the rebound. Thunder running in transition. Quam with it up top.
This is something that Quam does really well. He's the guy who's able to take a breath, to step back. I mean, you see the way they're getting into their offense here now. I like that about Zach Quam.
Francis looking inside for Spencer. Spencer turn around on the baseline, no good. Stafford pulls down the board.
That's a move that he needs about 15 more pounds of muscles to pull off well.
Oh my! Reagan Jones. Let's get another look at that one. Jones, amazing help defense. Lee thought he had it all alone. And Jones just brings it down on him.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying before that. I looked up and saw Reagan Jones just punishing.
Nicolaisen with it. Pull up mid-range from Palmer. And Spencer, I believe, is going to get called for a foul there.
I didn't see it.
It looked like he went up and just pulled that board down one-handed, but apparently Spencer was holding on to Markel Lucas.
What the zebra says goes, Nate.
Yeah. We all have opinions, but theirs are the only ones that matter. Lee with it, working on Samuelson. Ill-advised pass. Francis gets in the passing lane. Lucas coming up behind him. And Francis with a beautiful finger roll at the rim to finish, using the rim as protection from the much bigger Lucas. That's a smart basketball play in transition from the sophomore.
Very good play to get the ball out of harm's way and finish there. Great job by Aston Francis.
Now pull up three, rattles around, and Spencer draws the foul and will earn himself a 1-and-1 at the other end. That'll be Wright picking up the foul there.
Yeah, you saw it there again. Christian Wright does not agree with that foul call. Again, though, we all have opinions.
Zebra's the only one that matters.
And the struggles from the free throw line continue.
Yeah, that's not what you like to see from the Thunder. We mentioned this in the first broadcast. The Thunder leading the CCIW each of the past 2 years in free throw percentage, leading all divisions of NCAA basketball as Francis in transition. Oh, and Jay Spencer, he wanted to put that one down on the tip slam. He had one against Benedictine late in the game, and he almost had another.
Yeah, Jay Spencer just gets a little excited at times, I think. He uses that vertical almost to show off. I think he wanted that one off the backboard from Aston Francis, if I'm being honest.
On two guys in transition.
He could do it.
He has
the vertical to do it.
That's why it's funny, because it is a realistic option. And a good finish through contact from Lucas. But as I was saying before that sequence, the Thunder leading the CCIW in free throw percentage each of the past 2 years, leading all levels of NCAA basketball 2 years ago with a 92% from the charity stripe. Jones can't pull down the rebound. It ends up now in the hands of Walker.
They're going to hold for the last shot, and they've been surging here in the last couple of minutes. If they could finish it off with a bucket here, that would be huge for their momentum.
5 seconds on the clock. Nicolaisen kicks it out.
Wow.
Three-pointer, and it's good. And that'll run down the clock on the first half. So the Thunder jump out to an early lead, but the Norse end it on a solid run of their own to bring it within 12. After 20 minutes of action, your score is the Wheaton Thunder 30, the Luther Norse 18. We'll take a quick break for halftime. We'll be back with the second half of action. After this, you're watching the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network.
The heart of the Wheaton College mission are Wheaton College students. The young men and women God has called to our campus for education, apprenticeship, and discipleship. Students whose minds and hearts the living Christ has entrusted us to prepare for kingdom service that transforms the world. Whether they are called to the classroom or the boardroom, whether they serve impoverished communities in Africa or grace the concert halls of Europe, whether they preach from the pulpit or confess Christ in the coffee shop, Wheaton students are at the forefront of Christian leadership, growing families and building communities, using their knowledge and faith in service to the church and the world. Today's Wheaton students stand on the shoulders of many faithful servants who have gone before, a great cloud of witnesses whose testimonies challenge us all to give the love of Jesus Christ to a world with needs that will not wait. Now I invite you to join us in a comprehensive campaign to make every student's Wheaton education more remarkable, more relevant, and more reachable, not only today, but also for generations to come. When you join us in supporting Wheaton's From the Heart for the Kingdom capital campaign, you invest in a liberal arts education that is rare and precious. Together we will build on our commitment to academic excellence, grounded in the person and work of Jesus Christ, carried out in state-of-the-art facilities and encompassing the full spectrum of the arts and sciences. Together we will empower each student to articulate a clear, biblical, and personal understanding of vocation, providing the tools that kingdom servants need to fulfill their God-given callings. We will expand student access to diverse and deeply enriching learning opportunities on campus and beyond, preparing them to address the complexities of a globally connected world. Together, we will enable students of all social, racial, economic, and geographic backgrounds to flourish by keeping a Wheaton College education affordable and providing not only a warm welcome, but also a true home for every qualified Christian student. Now, more than ever, Wheaton College depends on you, loyal alumni, parents, and friends, to support the capacious vision of learning for all of life that is at the heart of Christian liberal arts education. This rare and precious endeavor requires extraordinary engagement from kingdom-minded Christians who champion Wheaton's mission to prepare young leaders who have a passionate commitment to live from the heart for the kingdom.
I think a lot of today tries to emphasize how much you need to be the individual and how much you need to kind of have your plan set out for you as soon as you reach the end of high school. Vanguard just kind of popped out of nowhere, and the idea of a gap year, spending it in the woods, and I felt like I just needed to take some time away from the kind of rigorous academic world just to kind of recenter myself. I feel like this is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, was to take a gap year.
For me, going right to college was really kind of a scary thought because I didn't know what I wanted to major in, what I wanted to do. So taking a gap year was a really good chance for me to just grow and mature a little more before going to college.
Once a month we would have professors from Wheaton come up and run a seminar, and those were exploring big questions of faith or big questions that millennials face.
Also, just the Vanguard community itself is really tight, and we became kind of like a family.
I'm very thankful for these people who are willing to push me, but just care for me so deeply, and definitely I think something unique to this place, to Honey Rock, and to Vanguard as a program.
Basically the whole year was one immersion trip, being here in the Northwoods and interacting with the local community here. Another was going to the Dominican Republic.
It was learning and delving deeper into my faith, but without grades and without this pressure that I've always felt to perform. And I think having the opportunity to learn in such an intimate setting has influenced me in a really positive way.
I think what Vanguard does is it helps you to really discover your true potential and help you to kind of define your own calling.
It's a year of your life, yeah, and you might think, oh, this will set me behind all my friends, but it won't. At this stage in life, you're still so young, and there's still so much time to explore the world and to see what you want to study, and you'll have your 4 years of college, but you don't need to rush into that.
The person I am now compared to the person at the beginning is different in a lot of ways, but probably one of the most important ways would just be less anxiety about the future and more of just present-mindedness and openness to what God is doing and what His plan is from here.
Yeah, I definitely think, looking back on it, taking a gap year and doing Vanguard was the best decision of my life. I'm Andrea DeMoss.
Stephen Westich.
I'm Monica Gomez.
My name's Austin Farrell.
I
found Wheaton my senior year of high school, and I remember thinking there's no possible way I could afford this school.
I did look at the price tag, and I did think I probably can't go here.
You know, you never know what opportunities God will open up to make a place affordable for you to go. And so I decided to continue to pursue it.
I received my acceptance letter and I cried when that day. I remember it perfectly. But then reality struck and I just thought, how am I supposed to pay for that?
A woman in my church said, if you get into Wheaton, they're gonna make a way for you to get through. They're going to find some financial scholarship or loan that's gonna help me get all the way through. And I remember thinking, okay, that's a joke, there's no way.
So I applied, and I got 2 letters, memorable letters. One was from the admissions office saying I got in, and I thought, that's brilliant. But the more important letter was the one I got from the financial aid department that said, you got in, but you can come.
My dad is a pastor full-time, so we didn't really have the capacity to pay for that. So we started to pray a lot, and I got in contact with the financial aid office.
The people in financial aid, they're so personal with me, and they've sat down with me and talked to my mom and jumped through every hoop with me and assured me that they're gonna help me make it through, that we're gonna figure out whatever angle we can to help me get a Wheaton education and be able to graduate.
I ended up getting enough help from Wheaton to actually attend and go to this school, which was amazing for me. And I'm so happy that I did because of the educational opportunities, the Christian growth opportunities, the world perspective and change in perspective and challenging perspective that I'm experiencing. Wheaton College really seeks to bless its students to experience all it has.
And we are back here at King Arena once again. I'm Nate Stein alongside Casey Balikian, and you are watching the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. The second half just a few minutes away from getting underway. After one half, the Thunder lead the Luther Norse 30-18.
Yeah, Nate, I think if I was a coach on either side, honestly, going into that halftime, I think my word to my team would have been, it's not good enough. I mean, it was fine, but it wasn't good enough. I mean, if you look at the Luther Norse, they beat Wheaton in rebounding totals, which is impressive because they're actually undersized compared to Wheaton. However, they scored 18 points, all of them except for 2 coming from their starting 5. Their leading scorer has 4 points. They've got to shoot better than 25% from two-point land and 18% from 3. If you're Wheaton, you're saying it was fine, you scored 30 points, whatever. That's not a lot, by the way.
No.
But you only got 17 rebounds against a team that is smaller than you. I mean, these are 2 huge glaring weaknesses, especially the rebounding category for the Thunder, that both of these teams have to address. The Norse have to be able to score. The Thunder have to be able to close down opportunities with a defensive rebound, and thus far we haven't seen either team be able to do that. So look for both of those teams to make those adjustments this half. Look for the Norse to find better shots, find layups, find easy ways to get themselves buckets. Look for the Thunder to really focus on boxing out and crashing the offensive boards.
Yeah, there are enough defensive breakdowns by the Thunder where the North should be getting those easy buckets.
Absolutely.
So we'll see if the Thunder can lock that down a little bit more. As we are underway here, as Luke Peters receives the inbounds pass. Stafford on him. Now Francis. Francis pulls up, baseline jumper, knocks it down. Aston Francis picks up right where he left off. Nicolaisen with it, pulls up for three, he's wide open and he knocks it down.
Both teams finding good shots here early. I think the Luther Norse, one of the things that they do have to be happy about is their defense in that first half. And they want to look to not give Aston Francis or anybody as good a look as Aston just got in that first possession. Good defense right there.
Palmer with it, into the corner for Nicolaisen. Palmer now driving into the lane. Reagan Jones gets a hand in his face.
Aston Francis lucky that he was out of bounds there. That is cardinal rule number 1 of an out of bounds play. Do not save the ball back into your opponent's side of the court. He would have been kicking himself if that had resulted in a layup.
Stafford trying to drive in. Great defense there. Help D from Reagan Jones, able to block Markel Lucas from behind. Now a corner three wide open and knocked down there out of the hands of Ray Whitlock.
And you see Coach Franzen has made some adjustments offensively. They're getting open looks, and this is dangerous for Wheaton. Once up, what was it, 17 at one point.
19.
Now 19, only up 8 now. So a big comeback here for the Luther Norse.
Peters working up top. Stafford coming out to meet him. Francis, wide open three. That one no good. And there's going to be a foul on Luke Peters there. Let's see if we can get a better look on it. Yeah, him and Stafford were hooked together.
Yeah. You know me, I'm a huge fan of old-fashioned basketball. Charges, they make me happy. When a team boxes out long enough for the ball to bounce on the floor in the open, that just, it makes me happy, and that's what Luther just did. You saw 3 guys there. Obviously there was a foul, but you saw 3 guys there just pushing their men away from the basket, and the ball just landed in between them. I love that intensity in boxing out.
Whitlock working on the far side. Tries to drive in and draws a foul. Jones gets him there. I believe that's Jones' second foul of the game.
Yeah, Jones has had some good blocks in this game, but with blocks comes fouls, unfortunately. Whenever your hand is coming down, there's always more of a likelihood that the ref is going to call a foul. I personally did not think that was a foul, but if your hands aren't straight up, you're always susceptible, and he got Reagan Jones right there.
Whitlock knocks down the first, and now we'll see Jones take a breather as Jay Spencer enters the game. And Whitlock goes 2 of 2.
And what was once 19 is now 6.
I'm having flashbacks to last season.
Say it ain't so, Nate.
And there you see Kobe Eichelberger drawing the foul to get himself to the line.
Yeah, if I'm the Thunder right now, I'm looking for a way to get Kobe Eichelberger or Aston Francis the ball in open space, give them a chance to drive by their men. Again, the struggles from the free throw line persist as the Thunder are now shooting under 50% from the charity stripe on the night. But you got to get, Kobe Eichelberger is quicker than the big men that guard him, and you can get him the ball on the perimeter and let him drive. Aston Francis is a dynamic scorer. Get him the ball in an isolation situation and get some points up on the board just so that you can start getting that engine rolling again.
Nicolaisen with Samuelson on him. Whitlock drives in. Samuelson gets his hand on it, thrown ahead. Samuelson ends up with it. Oh. And Stafford rises up and swats that one away, similar to what we saw Reagan Jones do on the fast break in that same spot in the first half.
I'll tell you what, Stafford has been everywhere on the defensive end of the floor. He is a big, big part of the defensive effort for this Norse team.
Quam into the corner, Francis for 3. And that one rims out. Spencer can't get a hold of it. It ends up with Stafford. Stafford going the other way. He loses control of it. The ball ends up with Quam.
Yeah, a little out of control there for number 5 in blue.
And then he almost gets it back. It'll be a jump ball possession arrow in favor of the Norse.
Yeah, someone with his athletic ability and his competitive desire, he knew that he should not have lost that ball in transition, and he was determined to make up for it, and he did right there, getting a jump ball and getting his team back in possession under their own basket.
Seven-point game, inbounded to Markel. And another jump ball, Aston Francis diving on that loose ball to tie Markel Lucas up, and it will be Thunder ball.
In the first 2 games of the season, I've loved the way that Aston Francis is willing to betray his body for the ball. I mean, we saw that amazing save over here in the far corner by him in the first game, and right there, just on the ground, getting after a jump ball.
Lucas challenges Quam at the rim once again. And Quam just loses out of bounds, last touch by the Norse. So it stays Thunder ball. 3 minutes into the second half, it's been all Norse. Francis kicks it to Samuelson. Samuelson driving in, step back, no good. Spencer tries to tip it away, gets to Quam. Now Quam drives in and finishes baseline. Good finish from the junior out of Canton, Georgia.
Good strong take there by number 12 in white.
Whitlock with it. Driving into the lane, goes up, off the glass, no good. Wright with the rebound. Quam getting his hands in there on Wright. Boink.
Ooh, good move.
Oh, Jay Spencer tosses that one away from the freshman out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
We have seen some impressive blocks in this game on both sides, Nate. Mostly from Spencer and from Jones in white, and mostly from number 5, Stafford, in blue.
Whitlock with it up top. Far side for Dickey, now right. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and it's turned over. Samuelson ends up with it, just standing in the right place at the right time. Ahead to Francis, wide open 3, he pump fakes. Looking inside at Spencer. Spencer with a huge advantage. Kicked out to Jones for 3. He knocks it down. The big man stays hot.
Great pass there from Aston Francis. What a great drive penetration, looking to kick out, found the open man. Very well done.
Boink with it. Swings it to Nicolaisen. Nicolaisen trying to drive. Kicks it out to Whitlock. 10 on the shot clock as Wright trying to work down low. Kick back out to Whitlock for 3. No good. Jones with the rebound. And off to the race start of the Thunder. Throws it up. Jay Spencer was able to go up and get the ball. I know what the ideal was there.
Yep.
Quam didn't quite put it close enough to the hoop. And Quam realizes going back the other way, console Spencer. That would have, I think that would have popped the top off King Arena.
Yeah, and that honestly might have been just the momentum boost that they were looking for. I mean, they're up 12 again, but it doesn't feel like it.
Stafford working now as he's back in the game. Swings it to Lee. Now Stafford again into the corner for Boink. Francis on Boink. Wright, 6 on the shot clock. He puts up a 3, no good. Dickey ends up with it. Boink. And now Spencer's going to get called for the foul, reaching around Dickey to try to knock that one away.
Yeah, just a little bit of a lack of discipline there. I mean, you had your body in between the basket and the man, and that's all you can ask for in post defense, especially when you're so much bigger and more athletic than the man you're guarding. I would have loved to see Spencer just, again, relax a little bit there, let the game come to him.
And now I believe we'll see a foul on Malagan off the ball. Yep. That'll be Malagan's first.
You can see Spencer Peterson's up there with the football team, the future Wheaton Thunder basketball player, just hanging with his team until the end of the season. But he looks frustrated, like he wants to get out there on the floor with his brothers on the hardwood.
Malagan with it up top. Swung to Gunter. Now Samuelson, quick fire 3, no good. Rebound Malagan. He loses it out of bounds though. That kid is scrappy. Every time he gets on the floor, he just seems like he's everywhere.
And he's the kind of guy that he's going to go into an offseason, put on a lot of weight and muscle weight, and just be somebody that comes back and surprises everybody. That's my prediction. Next year, he's going to be a very good player.
Malagan guarding Stafford. Stafford tries to get around him. The freshman sticks with it. Swung to right. Hard closeout from Jones. 10 on the shot clock. Jones trying to stay with right. Hand off to Boink. 5 on the clock. Boink drives baseline. Kicks it to Dickey. Dickey, mid-range jump shot, knocks it down.
And Frankens Norse here hanging in there. A little bit of life in King Arena for the team in blue.
13:40 to play in the game as Francis slows things down, taking it up. Thunder lead by 10.
And they'll switch into a zone here. We'll see how the Thunder react. This is the first zone they've seen in the second half.
Francis far side, and he knocks down the 3. That's how they react.
It's always nice in a 2-3 zone to have somebody who can do that.
Yeah, it's even better if you have 2 of them. Samuelson and Francis both sitting there just on the wings, very content to just go back and forth and be like, all right, eventually someone's going to be slow and moving back.
Absolutely. I think it was a little bit of a, well, you do it. No, you do it.
So 13 and a half to play. Be interesting to see what the Norse do out of this timeout.
Again, just to remind our viewers, the winner of this game here tonight will match up against Heidelberg in a game tomorrow night in prime time. The loser will play in the earlier game against Bethel. Again, the loser of that very close game in the 7 o'clock, or excuse me, in the 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock time slot, whatever it was.
The early game.
There will be a broadcast tomorrow regardless, but the time will depend on the result of this game.
And let's not forget about the Beth Baker Classic. Both sides of the women's tournament facing off at 1 and 3 tomorrow. The Thunder women came out on top, so they will be playing in the 3 o'clock slot. That game will be brought to you right here on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network by Michael Hickerson and Caleb Springer.
Yeah, the Thunder women today with a very impressive performance. I was there watching it just because I have a couple friends on the team, and wow, do they look dynamic.
This is a Thunder women's team that almost knocked off, I believe, a top 10 team in Hope on the road.
Yeah.
And only lost in overtime by 2.
Yeah.
We're up 20 at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, just blew the lead and a really frustrating loss for the Wheaton women. But they're definitely going to be a team to be reckoned with going down the home stretch.
Peters with Stafford on him. Francis working into the lane, drops it off to Gunter. Gunter out to Jones. Jones up top, Francis. Francis gets past Lee, step back jumper, he knocks it down.
Francis flirting with that 20-point mark again as the second leading scorer on Wheaton is at 7.
Sturgis with it, Francis guarding him. Lee. Sturgis swings it around right, working into the lane, and Jones swats that one away. Now moving ahead, Francis with it. Gunter on the near side.
Gunter seeing some of his first minutes here in this game tonight.
Francis looking inside to Gunter. Big man working down low, and a nice move to get up and over the top of Dickey and extend this Thunder lead back up to 17.
It's good to see Gunter come in and get going right away. Surprising that we haven't seen him play more tonight, as he played a good amount in the game on Tuesday, but good to see him, going right to the basket, playing with a lot of confidence despite lower minutes.
And Malagan going to get called for the foul there. Just trying to guard Stafford. We'll get another look at it. Just a little bit of a hand check.
Yeah. And that's going to get called in the guys' game, especially with point guards and guards trying to go to the basket so much. Anytime a hand is in there, they're going to run right into you. And that's a pretty easy call for most referees in this game.
Inbound to Nicolaisen. Sturgis now. Lucas, handoff. Palmer for 3, and he knocks that one down.
Yeah, Malagan there just not able to get over the ball screen. That's one of the tenets of this defense, is always go over ball screens, and Malagan just not able to do it right there.
And now we will see a foul on Nicolaisen trying to chase Samuelson through those screens. Just kind of grabs onto him there.
Yeah, and again, that highlights something you're seeing a lot more out of the Thunder this year, which is so much movement off ball. Nate, they're so much better at off ball movement and getting each other open rather than just worrying about getting themselves open.
Samuelson with it. Feigns a three, tries to get into Malagan, and unable to be saved by Whitlock.
A little more action.
Almost
for us
took out
over
my
here.
water again.
Nate is under fire, ladies and gentlemen, as it seems that everybody in blue and white is coming after that gray water bottle.
And the zebras. Quam inbound to Peters. Entry pass to Quam, a little too far out in front of him. Quam can't hang on to it. And Coach Schauer very upset with that one.
You see Coach Schauer start his pace again, which is actually probably a good sign for the Thunder. He wouldn't pace if he didn't think they could do it. And so, I mean, that pacing means that he's disappointed, which is a sign of improvement.
Nicolaisen going all the way in.
Wow.
Draws some contact as it was Eichelberger trying to toss that one probably 5 rows deep on our side. As the football team sets something up underneath the basket over there.
Yeah, this should be enjoyable, whatever it is.
And Nicolaisen knocks down the first.
We're seeing that the Thunder have kind of picked out, looks like they're going with a 9-man rotation this year and are very fluid with it. Very few people getting more than 25, 30 minutes in this team.
Whitlock ends up with the ball, taking it from Peters. And Jay Spencer rises up and pins that one on the backboard. Eichelberger loses his footing. Whitlock going the other way once again. And Spencer's going to pick up a foul on the aggressive closeout.
Yeah. Coach Schauer wanted a foul there on that turnover by Eichelberger. Personally, I just think it was a silly idea to even try to push the ball right there. I mean, it was 1 or maybe 2 on 5. You got to pull the ball back, and again, it goes to the excitement of a young player. You know, somebody pins the ball, and you think, oh, I got to go, 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 go. No, you got to score, and you can't score 2 on 5. You don't have the personnel to score 2 on 5, so you got to pull it back. And you know, get your whole team involved.
Francis swings it across up top. Eichelberger now. Spencer in the corner. Francis. Samuelson looking for somewhere to go. He drives baseline. Left-handed finish. Nice move by Ricky Samuelson, taking it strong to the rim.
And we're seeing more of that out of Samuelson this year. He's able to do more than just shoot, and that's very dangerous.
In the corner, Nicolaisen for 3, short off the front of the rim. Peters going the other way, trying to take it 1-on-2, Euro step floater, he knocks it down. Wow.
A risky shot by Peters pays off, because that's going to go into a highlight reel. Looks like he was looking for a foul, didn't get it, and then had the presence of mind to kind of throw a floater up there. Sinks it for 2. And the Thunder, just like that, back up 17. We were talking about the deficit was narrowing at 6 points at one point in this game, and the Thunder in the last 5 or so minutes have ballooned that lead back up to significant double digits.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, starting to have flashbacks from last year. Thunder always last year would play a tight first half, and then things would get out of hand, to say the least, in the second half. We're seeing the opposite here. Looked like things were going to get out of hand a little bit and looked like they were going to let Luther catch up. But now the Thunder foot back on the gas, 9.5 to play in the game, and they're sitting comfortably, like you said, on a 17-point lead.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, Nate, that you would say, well, it's just a year of maturity for these players. But really, that's not been the case, because most of the players that played last year graduated or transferred or aren't playing anymore, or, you know, all the other stories. So this is a new team, and the fact that they're able to put together second halves thus far in the year is very encouraging if you're Coach Schauer, because not only is this a young team, but it's a young team with character and with grit. and that means that they're just going to get better and better in the second half. They're going to be right there at the end of the game with big-time teams, and that's something that's encouraging for the Thunder going forward.
Walker with it. Right with Peters all over him. Nicolaisen trying to drive on Samuelson, will kick it out. 7 on the shot clock. Nicolaisen trying to get around Samuelson. 4 seconds, 3, 2, in the corner for 3. Lee, as the shot clock expires, no good. But Whitlock ends up with that one, a second chance opportunity for the Norse. Lucas working down low, kicked out to Walker. Walker driving in. Jay Spencer just takes that one away. Eichelberg going the other way. Goes up, draws a foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, good defensive possession there. Didn't wrap it up with the offensive or with the defensive board, but Spencer Peterson able to strip that ball and get it out to Eichelberger for the fast break. Eichelberger now, we'll see if he can convert.
First one from Eichelberger, no good, off the front right side of the rim. Eichelberger knocks down the second. So the Thunder staying right around 50% from the charity stripe, which is not good. Walker coming the other way for the Norse. Whitlock into the corner for Lucas. Kicked out to Walker, swung around. Whitlock for 3, no good. Rebound. Samuelson controlled. Peters now going the other way, driving it, trying to go coast to coast. Tries to swing it through. Wright gets a hand in there and knock it out of bounds. Thunder ball down low.
Yeah, I like the way that Luke Peters pushed that pace right there. He had the numbers waiting down in transition for a pass, and so he got himself into the middle of the key and was looking for Eichelberger outside, had him open, just wasn't able to get it through the sea of arms there in the middle of the key.
Francis with it up top. Swung across to Eichelberger. He pulls up for 3. No good. Stafford with the rebound. Stafford pulls up. Francis with the rebound this time. Ill-advised pass forward, but it gets through to Samuelson, who goes up lefty, can't finish, and he'll go to the line.
Yeah, and for all the younger players that might be watching this broadcast, it's so important to get good with your left hand if you're a right-handed player, or your right hand if you're a left-handed player. To be able to score with both hands in this game is imperative, and that's something that Ricky Samuelson, again, he's gotten so much better going to the basket, and a big part of that is his left hand. He's scored, I think, more with his left hand in this game than he has with his right, because people are shading him to his right. And so, or to his left. So he's got to take what the defense gives him, and he's done a really good job of that.
Mike Samuelson knocks down both.
Mike Winowiecki coming in, I believe his first minutes of the season. Yep. Something that both of us, and they had commented on being surprised he did not play against Benedictine. So we'll see how the junior transfer fares here in his first minutes.
And now someone who we haven't seen tonight that we saw a lot of against Benedictine is Mark Champion. We haven't seen him yet.
Oh, I was like, wait, he's not out there. Yeah, again, Coach Schauer really narrowing his bench from that Benedictine game, coming up with about 9, now 10 players that he's willing to play. Played, I think, 13 in that game against Benedictine, so has cut a few guys out.
Peters going up strong past Walker. Spencer almost corrals that rebound, trying to fight away from Dickey. And Spencer running the floor hard to get back down and secure the paint. Love to see that from a freshman. And Stafford goes right at the body of Jay Spencer, and Spencer gets called for the foul as Stafford finishes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty bad closeout there on ball. There's not much you can do, though, because I mean, Kevin Stafford has been casting from outside, and so you have to expect that he's going to shoot that. It's really just a good move by Stafford. There's no way that you can challenge Stafford's shot and not let someone as quick as him past you. And so, I mean, that was really all that Francis could do, and it was unfortunate that it was going to either be 2 points or a foul, and it ended up being both.
Here comes the shot from Stafford. He knocks it down to complete the three-point play. Peters taking his time across midcourt. Francis shakes off the screen from Spencer. Then Francis kicks out to Winowiecki. Sends it across. Winowiecki gathers in the corner. He pulls up for three, no good. Peters with the rebound, and there's going to be a foul on Wright.
Yeah, one of those things where Winowiecki was a little surprised about how open he was, kind of hesitated, and then, you know, once you hesitate, it's tough to hit a shot like that. He's just surprised that his step back worked so well. Been working on it in the offseason maybe a little bit.
Inbound to Spencer, up top Peters. Francis driving in, floater, no good.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Wheaton Thunder have not done a great job scoring on this defense. I mean, 52 points is not that many, and for a team that's going to need to average in the 70s to be competitive, I mean, they've got to score more points, and to Luther's credit, they've done a really good job playing defense.
Jones secures the rebound. Thunder going the other way. Winowiecki looking inside for Peters. Peters with Walker on him. And that'll be an over and back called after pass from Peters is off direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea there by Peters to draw the defense and kick out, but just an errant pass. I like his thinking. He's seen, you know, people do that before him, particularly his brother. That's how his brother made a living, posting up and kicking it out to shooters. Just an errant pass.
Inbound to Nicolaisen. Palmer swings to Stafford. Dickey working down low, and Gunter will foul him, I believe. And now Nicolaisen will go to the line, or pardon me, Dickey will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Coach Schauer
yelling, "That's in the video," to the referee. I'm assuming he's discussing a new rules kind of release from the National Association of Officials, talking about, you know, points of emphasis for this season. And Coach Schauer thought that should have been an offensive foul because Reagan Jones was wrapped up. I believe it was Reagan Jones was wrapped up.
And now Luke Peters, this thing's get a little chippy. Stafford all up on him. Peters draws the foul. So Peters will go to the line for a 1-and-1. And can't knock down the first. Stafford kicks it out. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Whitlock. Gunter swats it away, but Jones is going to get called for the foul. So Whitlock will go to the line to shoot two. Now, how does Whitlock end up with that ball?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I mean, he's so small. I think Trevor Gunter was worried about pushing his man under the basket. Somebody didn't box out, that's for sure. Because the only way that, I mean, how tall is he?
Yeah, Whitlock's 6'1", $170.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that someone like that gets a rebound that deep into the paint is a missed box out assignment, especially when you've got guys that are 6'5" all around you. But I mean, if I'm a coach and Whitlock gets that rebound, I am pumped. I mean, great job, little fella, getting in there, banging with the big boys, and getting yourself to the free throw line. I mean, that's the way that this team is going to stay in the game, and they have. I mean, they're 4 points away from what they scored the other day, and we still got 5 minutes and 20 seconds left here. So
3 points away.
An improvement for the Luther Norse.
So timeout called with 5:22 remaining in the game. Thunder lead by 16.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're Wheaton, if you're happy with that, Nate. I understand that the Norse play great defense, and that is something that we have seen throughout this game. But Wheaton's going to play a lot of people who play good defense. And if you're Coach Schauer, you've seen some glimpses. Again, that's what we talked about in Benedictine. You've seen some glimpses, but you'd love to see them score a little bit more. I mean, there's no easy way to put that.
Yeah, I completely agree. 52 points is not enough.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier, this is a team that's going to need to be scoring 70, 80 points a game come conference play. Granted, yes, like you said, Luther's a good defensive team, but still.
Yeah.
Both teams taking their time in this timeout.
We can see most of the girls' team here at Wheaton has showed up to support their male counterparts over there above the Wheaton bench. There's a significant amount of the female basketball team sitting there in a row. I love to see just the way that these teams have come to support each other ever since my freshman year when I was on the team. The relationship was kind of split a little bit, and it's come together significantly since then, where these two teams really kind of look out for each other. They hang out when they're here over Christmas break, when no one else is here. So those are two teams that care about each other.
Francis with a nice crossover, somehow saves that ball to keep it in bounds. Peters working up top now. Eichelberger drives in, kicked out to Gunter. 8 on the shot clock. Gunter working in there, puts the ball up, no good. Francis with the rebound and can't finish on the putback.
I think he probably thought he was more guarded than he was. He was wide open. He was surprising when you're that open down low.
Whitlock with it, kicks it out to Palmer. Palmer pump fakes and starts to drive. Nicolaisen swings it to Lucas. Nicolaisen trying to work into the lane. Whitlock goes up and finishes off the glass.
Whitlock wanted a foul there. I'm tending to agree with him, and he moves himself into double digits. He's the leading scorer for the Luther Norse with 11 points. Being a little bit of a leader here tonight is the freshman from St. Louis Park, Minnesota.
Eichelberger loses control, but last touch will be the Norse, so Thunderball down low with 18 on the shot clock. Jay Spencer re-enters the game as Trevor Gunter gets a break. And Samuelson knocks down the mid-range on the quick hitter.
Yeah, they love that little play where you bring Samuelson around, get him a quick shot. That is exactly what you said, a quick hitter. And it works against every defense. It's just a very tough play to guard because you have to get over that screen so quickly.
Whitlock loses the ball for a second on the ground, looking for somewhere to go, calls a timeout wisely. A good presence of mind from the freshman to give his team control of that ball. .350 to play in the game. Thunder really just trying to close this one out to make it to tomorrow, where they will have a shot to either face off against Bethel or Heidelberg. It will be Heidelberg if they continue on this track.
Yeah, that championship game will mark the third consecutive home game for the Thunder, followed directly by another home game next week on Tuesday against UW-Platteville, who, as we talked about earlier, just beat this Luther team by 30 points. So that'll be a good little comparison for the Thunder. How they played in this game is how they do against UW-Platteville, who beat the same team by 30 points.
Nicolaisen spinning into the lane and finishes with the right hand.
Good move there by number 3 to bring his team back within 14.
Peters with it. Samuelson right back to Peters. And there's going to be a foul away from the ball on Eichelberger, I believe.
Illegal screen, I think. Moving on this screen right here, kind of leaned into it a little much. Yeah, that's an illegal screen. A good call there by the Zebra down low. Realizing that Zebra is probably a derogatory term that we might not be wise to use, but we've done it enough in this broadcast, so if we're going to get in trouble for it, we might as well just keep doing it.
Go all out, why not? And a good finish there from Sturgis past the outstretched fingertips of Samuelson. 12-point game. Francis looking for somewhere to go, draws a foul.
Yeah, one thing I like this year more than the Thunder last year, and I've talked about it a couple times, is even when there's a guy who's obviously about to go one-on-one, like Francis was there, you see the other Thunder players moving. And last year you saw a lot of stagnant basketball from this team, and that's not what we're seeing this year. And so I really like the improvement that they've made over the offseason in working on constant off-ball movement.
Samuelson knocks down the front end of the one-on-one, earns himself a second shot. And he goes 2 of 2. So Samuelson kind of single-handedly bringing the Thunder free throw percentage back up. Thunder shooting now 60% from the line, 40% from the field, 35% from beyond the arc. So pretty average across the board except for the free throws.
Yeah, Samuelson shooting 100% on the night. Everyone else shooting under 40.
And good defense as that ball somehow ends up with Whitlock once again. He's able to finish. And an ill-advised pass on the inbounds leads to a Luke Peters foul. And it will be Luther ball. Luke Peters is incredulous.
Yeah, I love the way that this Luther team is just going all out. Even though it's a long shot for them to come back in this game, they are not quitting. And that's something that the Thunder team could take note of. I mean, this team in blue is not going to get outworked. They're not going to leave the gym thinking, oh, we could have won if we had just gone a little harder. And that's something that the Thunder team is going to need to learn from in this game, especially this early in the season. You know, take notes. That's 4 on Luke Peters now.
That is.
Could be a big development as the Norse pull within 10. This is a Thunder team that lost to Benedictine on Tuesday by 10. Benedictine ranked 6th in the country, so definitely you would assume an underperformance here by Wheaton or a very good performance by a Luther team that's hanging in here with this team on their home floor.
This ball will stay with the Thunder after a scrum near the corner. Inbounds pass, Francis gets tripped up. Eichelberger chasing it down, hits the deck, and that ball will stay in bounds. Jones with it, ahead to Francis. And Francis will go up, draw the foul, can't finish, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, and again, I mean, just all the bodies on the floor. So much hustle from this team in blue, trying to win this game and come all the way back. An attempted charge there. And
that was very close.
Yeah, a little bit of movement, maybe a heel in the box, but, I mean, definitely not an obvious call. And this Luther team has given Wheaton what they can handle for sure. And Wheaton's going to have to hit some free throws towards the end of this game if they're going to pull away with it.
And Francis knocks down the first. And Francis goes 2 for 2. Thunder lead back up to 12. Whitlock with it. Pump fakes, drives into the lane. Jones goes up to challenge a shot. Ooh. Lucas with the putback to finish.
Still a long shot for the Norse, but life nonetheless with 1:48 left here. Down by 10 in King Arena.
Samuelson up top, kicks it out to Francis. Francis finds Eichelberger on the back door cut. Eichelberger misses but gets his own rebound. Goes up strong and finishes the second time.
It's a great pass there by Francis. Good battle down low by Eichelberger. Put his team up 12.
Stafford working in. And there will be a foul called, I believe, on Eichelberger. Not quite sure. I guess heel in the restricted area is what that one's going to be. Eichelberger standing completely still, straight up. Stafford can't hit on his first attempt.
Neither team performing particularly well from the free throw line. Yeah. Both teams probably wishing that they would shoot better. This game might have gone, more their way. Shooting 64% apiece.
Peters with it going the other way. Stafford right on him. Stafford trying to draw a foul there. Peters kicks it to Jones. On the shot clock. Francis pulls up a deep three. No good. Stafford. Ooh. Cookies from Kobe Eichelberger. He goes up and finishes at the rim.
He wanted a dunk there, but Ray Whitlock, a little bit of an annoying mosquito on the side of Eichelberger, not letting him dunk it to put it away.
And now Nicolaisen pulls up and knocks down the mid-range jumper. Samuelson drives past Nicolaisen, 2-on-1. Samuelson drops it to Jones, and Jones finishes off the glass easy. So scoring barrage in these past couple seconds. Thunder leading 64-51. Three-pointer no good from Nicolaisen, and the shot clock is off, or should be, so Thunder will just let this one run out, is my guess.
No shortage of fight in this Luther Norse team. I mean, right till the end, at one point down 19, brought it back to within 6. We're down 14, brought it back to 10. I mean, this was a team that was, really fighting with their backs against the wall, and give them a lot of credit. They added 12 points to their offensive effort from last week, and they held Wheaton to 64 points, which is a very good defensive effort. And so I think, if you're Luther going forward, you just got to find a way to put the ball in the bucket a little bit more. You got to shoot a little bit better than 25% from 3, and you're going to be set. This Wheaton Thunder team, finding a way to win, I think that's a really important thing to get something in your win column. So positives for both teams going forward.
Yeah, like you said, it's got to feel good to get the first win, especially on your home floor. We'll get Coach Shower's thoughts in just a few seconds. He's actually on his way over here now, so I'll grab him aside.
Good we could be. After tonight, I'm sure everybody's panicked. Tonight wasn't very, very pretty. Hard game to play. Generally speaking, when you have teams that have struggled a little bit, they're a little positionless. So it's hard to do matchups. You have guys on the floor. Somebody like Reagan Jones doesn't really have a matchup on the floor. So I thought we really struggled with a lot of that stuff. We've got to find ways to score that isn't Ricky and Aston because they're similar players. And they're perimeter players, and so we've just got to keep working on finding ways to score the ball that isn't one of them either creating or making shots. They're really good, and if we can just kind of find that third offensive option in and around the basket, I think we'll be in good shape.
All right, Coach, and you guys go right back at it tomorrow. You're going to have Heidelberg right back here at 8 o'clock, same time. What are you going to do to prepare for that in the meantime?
I'm not going to answer your question is what I'm going to do. I actually want to make sure I just take a moment and just talk a little about Coach Fund.
Absolutely.
I was texting with Randy Fund, his youngest son, a day or two ago. I don't remember. This will be the first year since 1944. Since 1944 that Coach Fund won't be at a basketball game at Wheaton College. And those of us who were fortunate to know Coach Fund, the impact he had on really every basketball life from about 1944 until 2016. Including the guys that were on last year's team, and the relationship that he had, including with me, was remarkable. He is one of the best men I've ever known. And I tell people all the time, I don't worry that much about trying to be as good a basketball coach as he is, but I feel tremendous pressure to influence the number of lives that he did, because it really was almost every Wheaton basketball player. And wonderful, godly man, great coach, and fortunate to know him.
All right, Coach,
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your time. There you have it, some meaningful words from Coach Shower to finish off our night. Your final score, the Wheaton Thunder 64, the Luther Norse 51. Thunder back in action tomorrow night against Heidelberg right back here in King Arena at 8 o'clock. Thank you for watching the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. For Casey Balicki, and I'm Nate Stein.